Hello everyone, this is Srinija Yerram, student of course Python Beginners to Advanced, offered by Ipsa Gyan. So as a part of the project, we were assigned a project after the completion of basic module of Python. So the project is like simulating the working principle of the vending machine. So I hope all are you aware of vending machine. So to go through this project, we should like have let us see the project of vending machine. So to go through this, we need to have the very good knowledge about the data types in Python, that is tuples, lists, strings, dictionaries, and sets. Okay, and then the loops for and while, and then comes the input functions and the print functions. What does this input function mean? So that is like to take the input from the user, right? And then user defined functions. Okay, so we need to have a very good knowledge about all these concepts to go through the project of the vending machine. So starting with the project, we begin with creating the dictionaries. We are like creating two dictionaries. So as we all know that vending machine is a like machine which contains food items, snacks, cool drinks, etc. For the consumers. Like it is an automated machine. Like after we select our menu and we enter the amount, we will be getting our item, right? So right after the user comes near the vending machine, he is to be displayed by a menu, right? So first of all, we are creating two dictionaries. So for the better understanding, I'm like separating this into different lines. I'm putting this into different lines. Same this one also. Yeah. So what is the first dictionary is holding? It is holding the code of the product. The menu is water bottle, dairy milk, cool drink, Pepsi, and ice cream, right? So the code for the water bottle is 1 and the code for the dairy milk is 2 and so on. So we know that in dictionary we will have a key and its value. So the key is 1 and the value is water bottle. Like we are assigning each value to the each key. But in the second dictionary we are assigning a pair of values to the key. So we know that we can like assign n number of values to the key of a dictionary, right? So we are assigning the pair of the values to the key, like which holds the zeroth index is the price of the product, and the first index is the quantity of the product. So 50 is the size of the water bottle and 100 is the quantity of the water bottle. Okay, so to display this for the user we need for loop, right? By using for loop and to like display the values of the dictionary, we know that we have a dot items method, right? So by using this we will be displaying the user with the menu. So let us run this and see. So yeah, it is displaying us with a menu, right? See, with the code. Water bottle 1, dairy milk 2, cool drink 3, Pepsi 4 and ice cream 5. Right. After this, we are going to create some functions. So here first we are creating this function. Let me copy this and let me explain afterwards. So in the function called products, we are creating we are after creating the function products, we have passed a parameter called item code. Like right after we are taking the input from the user, that is the item code, we are displaying the information of that particular item. If suppose the user has entered the item code 2, we are displaying the information of the item code 2. So what is the item code of 2? Item of code to dairy milk, right? So we are displaying that there are this number of items and it costs this much per item. So what is this? By using indexes, we are printing the value of the dictionary. See, this by using this one, we can update our values of the dictionary by dot get method, right? Same as this one, we can use this one. So by using this, the item of code of item, the item of code is, suppose it is 2, item of code 2 is dairy milk. So dairy milk of, this is 0th index, which is cost, and first index it is the item. So there are this many number of items, that is the first index is 80. So there are 80 items and it cost 40 rupees per item. So by using the index 0, we will be having the value of this one. Okay. So like this, we are getting the values of the information of the product, uh, which the user has entered. Okay. So let us call the function products and entering 2. Let us see. And one more thing, yeah, here we have declared like global code and item. Why did we declare it? So here we know that the normal variables, like which are not in the function, they're just declared outside the function, or known as global members, right? Global variables. And the members or the functions or the variables that are inside the function are local members or local variables or functions. So to modify them, like the values of the dictionary code and item, we are giving an information or indication to the function by declaring them within the function. We are giving them an indication that these are global members, code and item are global members. So whenever we want to modify them, this will reflect this one, so this values will be modified. Okay. So as we are not modifying any value over any value in this function, no need of even declaring this, but still no problem. Let us run the program and see. So this will differentiate between the global variable and local variable. So that is the variables that are declared in the function are local variables, right? So to make a difference between them, we are declaring global code comma item. So let us run the program and see. See, I have given a product code of 2. So it is displaying me the information of dairy milk, that is the cost is 40 and the items are 80. See, the 80 items in each cost 40 rupees. Okay. So this is how this function works or runs. And next we are creating in another function called user requirement. In here, what we are supposed to do is, in this function, we are taking the input from the user, like whether what item they want to take, and so to give them that item, we want some information, right? So like we are asking them to enter the product code, number of pieces, and the amount. And also in this function we are declaring again the global initial balance, code, item, and present earnings. Code and item here we have declared. And what is this initial balance and present earnings? So like to dispense the to dispense the change to the user. That is, if the the user has taken the items worth 400 rupees and he has entered 800 rupees, like we need to give him back 400 rupees, right? So there should be some amount initially in the machine to give the user the change, right? So initially we are putting some money in the machine. It is what we have, initial balance in the machine is, suppose we are putting it 200. And the present earnings, what is the present earnings? So until and unless we earn something, like until and unless the user buys something and we get the money, our present earnings will be zero, right? If the user buys some item and if he enters some money, that money will be collected. So until that our present earnings will be zero, right? Present earnings is equals to, this is an underscore, zero. So we have declared all them globally, so we can modify them within this function. Okay, and now after asking the user the product code, we are calling the function product so that it will display the information of that particular code. And then after we are like asking them to enter the number of pieces and enter the amount. Now let us call this function and run it and see. Let us run it. See, it has displayed me the menu, and here I have taken the product code of 2, right? So it is displaying the information of dairy milk, and again in the user requirement it is asking me to enter the product code. So actually we need not to call it here, but just for the understanding purpose I have just called it. Okay, then after later on we can comment it. Now I am entering 3. So it is displaying me the information of the cool drink. There are 150 items and each cost 60 rupees per item. So it is again asking for the number of pieces. I am entering 3 pieces, and again it will ask the enter amount. I am entering 300 amount. Okay. So till this part we have completed, and then now there can be several conditions, right? After taking the information from the user, if the user enters this insufficient money, how can we give him the item that he wants, right? And the one more case is if the total bill of the user is like 200 rupees, but he has entered 500 rupees. So we need to give him back the 300 rupees change, right? But we just left with the that means initially we have only 200 rupees 200 rupees in the machine. Then how can we give him the 300 rupees? We can't, right? So in these two cases, there will be one thing, and if the user enters a sufficient money, or if we have a sufficient money to return him back, that will be another case, right? So by using the conditional statements, if else, we are differentiating the situations, and accordingly we are going with that. So in the if, what we are doing, if the initial balance is less than the change that we need to return to the user, like D is the entered amount minus total bill. So this is the amount that we need to return to the user. So if our initial balance is less than this amount, or if the entered amount is less than total bill. So I hope you got it. By using the indexing method, we are accessing the values of the dictionary. So item of code of B of 0. So zeroth index is price, right? So like that we are uh, accessing the value of that one. So in these two cases, in both the cases, either this or that, either this one or this one, so we will be displaying the user this information, like please provide this much of amount. So this is if case. And in the else part, when else part is executed, if we have a sufficient money to give him back the change, or and what he has entered the sufficient money, like up to the mark. So at that time, like else part is executed, right? So here this. Okay. After this, it's not mandatory or necessary that the user only takes one item, right? It he may take two or three items, like several items, right? So to make the this code run until and unless the user wants to stop it, like until and unless the user wants to stop the machine, we need to run it. So for that we are using while loop. Sorry, okay, let us see how it runs. And here no need to call it. Why is it? Hmm, let us run it. Okay, sorry. We haven't called this function, right? Uh, let us call here. So now let us see. So yeah, now it is asking us for the product code. I'm entering 1. So it is showing me the information of the water bottles. Like there are 100 items and each cost 50 rupees per item. Like I'm entering 2 pieces. I'm entering the amount of 150. So yeah, see, collect the item and the change of rupees 50, right? So as the else condition is true, it is displaying us this message. Okay. So to make this run until the user wants to stop, we are using while loop. So if he wants to take another item, it will again ask for the entering of code and all. In while loop, we are asking the user to again input some information such as whether you want to stop the program or not. If he enters no, again this user requirement function is called and again this process is being done. And if he enters yes, that means he decided to stop the program. So this message will be displayed, that is the present, like the earnings for today is present earnings, and the balance in the machine is this one. And yeah, one more thing. In the else part, we have assigned. Okay. In the else part, what is there in the else part? X is equals to, we have assigned the amount that we need to return to the user into a variable X. We can directly write it, but as we are using it some twice or thrice, I am just declaring, I'm assigning this value to a variable X. So now we are subtracting x from the initial balance, right? We are subtracting x from the initial balance. Why? If we have returned a user 100 rupees, if we have returned the user 100 rupees change, with how much of money we will be left with? 200 minus 100, right? So we will be left with only 100 rupees in the initial balance. So that's why we are subtracting the amount that we need to return to the user from the initial balance, that is 200 minus x, and then after, the amount that we get from the user is added to the present earnings here. Okay, and again initial balance is the sum of initial balance plus present earnings. Okay, and here it has shown that the collect the item and the change of rupees 50, right? By when we have done. Now this, what is this doing? This is, that means first index is the quantity, right? So here we are subtracting the quantity from the total quantity. Like if the user have taken, if the user have entered the code number 2 and he has taken some 2 dairy milks, so whenever he wants to take it again, it should not display the current quantity, right? The two pieces should be minused, right? So that he comes to know that how much, like what is the quantity of the product and how much he needs to take. So to display that, we are like subtracting the number of pieces the user has taken from the total quantity. Okay, so while loop is executed until the user wants to like stop the program. So now let us run the whole program and see. So it's asking me for no one. So it's showing me there are 100 items and each cost 50 rupees per item. So I want 2, and it is asking me to enter the amount. I am entering 150, and it is showing me that collect the item and the change of rupees 50. See, again it is asking me, do you want to stop the program or not? Why? Because it is while loop, right? So until we put y, it will get executed. Again I want to keep no, and now I'm entering code 2, and there are 80 items. 2 means dairy milk. There are 80 items and each cost 40 rupees per item. Now I'm taking 3 items and I am entering. So my total bill is 120. So I am entering, suppose 400. But it is showing, sorry, please provide amount 120. Why is it showing like this? Because it doesn't have the sufficient money to give us the change. So that's why it is like telling us to enter the the correct amount. And again I enter no, and now again I enter 2, and I want 3 pieces, and I am entering 150 rupees, and it is showing me to collect the item and the change of rupees 30. Okay, and again I enter no and a product code of 5, and there are 200 items and 80 per item. I am entering like suppose 2 items. My bill is around 160, right? 160, but I am entering 400 rupees. 160, yeah, 400 rupees. So it is dispensing me a change of 240 rupees. Like we have just given the initial balance as only 200 rupees, right? And how is it displaying 240? Here our earnings is added to the initial balance, right? So our initial balance will be get increased, right? So that is how it's like dispensing us the 240 rupees. And now I'm entering I'm entering again. Yeah, I'm entering again code number 1, and at first we have taken the number of pieces of item, code number 1 is 2. So at first the quantity was 100 items. If I again enter the code number 1, it should display me with 98 items. Okay, so let us see. And it is no, and I'm entering 1. See, now it is showing us 98 items and each cost 50 rupees. Again, I'm entering 3 and again I'm entering 300. Collect the item and the change of 150 rupees. Now I want to stop the machine and I want to like see the message what it's going to display when I enter stop. It's showing me like the earnings for today is 5:30 and the balance in the machine is 4:30, right? So as it came to an end, the loop came to an end by like entering Y. It's displaying the last message. The earnings for today is this much and the balance in the machine is this much, right? Yeah, so this is how the program of the vending machine is, and this is how it runs and works, and hope you all got it. And yeah, thank you.